Hi, I'm Claire Durston. I play for the Cronulla Sharks, and you're listening to Smash FM.
Hi, I'm Madison Bergeron. I play for the Cronulla Sharks, and you're listening to Smash FM.
Welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM here on a Thursday. Of course, let's head up to our friends up in Sydney again. Of course, being with our favourite Cronulla Sharks women's, of course, AWL team. Of course, they only got one game this week. It is against Drummoyne on Saturday. Of course, we got two of our favourites on our show again to join us. Of course, Claire and Maddie joins us. Thanks both for joining us.
Thank you for having
Yeah,
us.
thank you.
Um, Tough weekend last weekend. You played UWA and then you played Sydney Uni. Tell us about those two games last week.
Yeah, it was long for sure. We had three games over Thursday, then Saturday and Sunday, so there wasn't a lot of break. And then to top it off, we spent Friday doing a team dinner, so we definitely saw a lot of each other, which was nice. Um, we got two wins against UWA, and then Sunday a two-goal loss. So mixed results, but some really promising performances.
Yeah, I think a lot more people are getting minutes in, contributing, not like surprising themselves, but starting to get things done in the pool that they've been practicing and training, and now that they're able to execute in games. So a lot of good things coming out of our games from over the weekend and late last week.
The win that you just mentioned was the champions round, I should say, against UWA Torpedoes. Tell us how special was the win on champions round.
Yeah, I guess for me, this one was, I don't know if special is quite the right word, but Torps is actually my old club. So
Oh,
it always feels weird playing against them. They play a really kind of different style of play to a lot of other teams. They don't have at the moment a really dominant center forward. So they just do not stop moving. By the time our second game against them was done, where everybody looked pretty worn out because it was a very dynamic game. So it was really good to get the win again in front of a home crowd, which was really, really nice.
Yeah, definitely awesome to win at home. Like Claire mentioned, it was a hard fought win. So felt really good to finish that series against them and look forward to another game. But it was a long weekend.
okay, almost to answer my next question then. How difficult was the turnaround from the home game, which I think was a 5 o'clock game against UWA, and obviously you had to go up to Sydney to take on Sydney Uni, which was a 2:30 game on a Sunday.
Definitely was tired by the end of the UWA game Saturday evening. But it was also really exciting to get another crack at Sydney Uni after our first game where they won by 15. And so just kind of woke up the next day and got back into the routine of a little ocean dip, coffee, breakfast kind of deal, and got excited with the girls to travel to Sydney Uni.
I would agree with Berg. I think because it was a different team, it wasn't feeling like Groundhog Day necessarily. Because it was a new team, it felt like, okay, completely new game plan, different pool. It was all very different. So even though we might have been tired, it just felt like, oh, this is the next game day. And that was the only thing that people were focused on when we got there, which was really good. So it didn't feel like we were, yeah, just doing it over and over again. It actually was really exciting. Everybody was very happy to be there, I think.
Now, of course, I'm going to go back another week. I know last time we had both of you on the show in particular was in the lead up to the Lifeblood round
Mhm.
against Hunter. I guess tell us a bit about obviously how important was that game on the day. And obviously, I've just seen the photo of the team holding some interesting things there. How special was the player on that day in particular, and how much do you know how much the team raised?
Don't know numbers specifically, but from the Lifeblood round, we did have candy there, which was really cool because it meant anybody who was there throughout the day, they could go up and ask questions specific to themselves. Like if I were to go up, I could be like, okay, so I'm doing this on this particular day. Is it compatible with donating blood? Should I try and restrict this particular activity, or can I do it here when? So it was really good having that face-to-face interaction with somebody from the charity, which was cool. And yeah, we got a win on that day as well, which was really good.
Yeah, awesome to meet her. Definitely heard a lot of good questions, and it was fun to take a picture as a group with her and all the little signs and characters, blood.
Now, let's talk a bit about the game against Drummoyne this week. Situation pretty good at the moment after a pretty rough start. I think you're currently about fourth or fifth on the ladder. How important is the one game you're going up to Drummoyne to play them? And obviously they've come off a bit of a losing streak themselves.
Yeah, I think we're sitting fifth at the moment, and top six goes through to finals. So just a couple more wins and we should be able to secure our spot. I think at this stage it's just trying not to think too far into the future and because of it. But if we can get a win, it will very much help our finals. So hopefully we can get the win there, but we can't rely on certain wins or losses. We've just got to take it game by game.
Yeah, I think just sticking to our game plan. A big thing we talk about is just consistency and playing up to our level. So stringing together 4 quarters, our good Cronulla water polo is something that I know we're really looking forward to doing this weekend, and I'm stoked to see what that result will be.
Now, we mentioned before, and I know because both of you have been on our segment the last 3 times. So have you noticed the difference in regarding to the way the team's gone about it after a very slow start, which I must admit, you've actually had a pretty tough draw to start off with before you got on a bit of a winning run when we first had both of you on the show?
I think the differences that I've noticed have actually been more out of the pool ones, which only help the connections in the pool. I think it's just people sort of knowing what they like for a game day routine. It starts in the morning of game day from sometimes we go for a beach swim and then back to Jade's house for bacon and eggs, which is really fun. So it's been those sort of things that I've actually really enjoyed the most. And then it just continues on when we all arrive at the pool, do the same routine, warm up. Everybody's getting really good at into those patterns. And then I think it's been showing in the pool some good connections happening.
Yeah, even with kind of the tough draw at the start, I think quickly we learned how to pick up what good things from the game still were and take those pieces to build upon. And I think things that we recognized early on we were good at, we've been working hard to get great at and executing our game plan every single time. So even though it was kind of tough getting those losses at the start, there's still a lot of good things to come from it. And I can see our team have fire from that kind of.
Good to finally get one game this weekend, considering he's had a pretty, I wouldn't say awful run of it. The last couple of weeks, especially, I think one week you had to go up to Newcastle, you had to come back home. One of the weekends you mentioned about 3 games in 1 week within 4 days of each other. I guess good to finally get a decent break this time around.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. We have apart from this weekend, I think all the others will have at least 2 games, and then we finished off with a road trip to Perth. So it'll be tough to back it up those games after a long flight, but it's something that every team has to do. And I know at least the Perth teams coming to Sydney, they do 4 games in 4 days after the flight. So we definitely have the upper hand being a Sydney team because there's more teams here, but it still doesn't make it easy.
Tell us a couple players in your team that's really impressed both of you in the last couple of weeks. I know it's been a team game and it's been a team effort the last month or so. But is there a couple players that really stand out other than yourselves or each other?
Definitely. I think one of our young drivers, Ashley Ryder, is starting to really find her groove in the season, and she's just fast and explosive and all over the place. You'll see her left and right and center of the pool, and she's got a good head on her shoulders as well. So it's been fun to see her get confident and step in and get a bit more time too.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Berg. I said Ash, I think, in our first interview, and she's definitely lived up to expectation, especially in our game against Sydney Uni. She didn't let the nerves get the better of her in, a game against a tough opposition, but she made some steals, swam down the pool, gave a perfect assist, and that goal is basically a credit to her. So there were multiple instances in that game and throughout the season so far. So yeah, she's definitely pulling her weight.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we'll finish with these last two because I know obviously both of you got training very, very shortly. So for everyone that should head to Drummoyne in 2 days' time, I think it's a Saturday,
Yeah.
what would be your advice to them to head up the, well, I'll not, will normally sit the freeway, but it's not that much far. Head up to the central of Sydney to watch his in action against Drummoyne.
It's not water polo specific, but make sure you leave with plenty of time to spare. And if you're going to take poles and you go through the tunnels, make sure you know where your exit is.
Oh, yes.
Almost every single time when we're driving up there, somebody will go through the tunnels, they'll lose the GPS signal on their phone, and they'll get spat out in the wrong place and end up being. So it happens every time without fail. I know last season, two of the girls just about doubled their drive time and spent 2 hours trying to get to the pool when it could have taken less than one. So that's my advice. Plan your route early.
I'm going to double down on that.
Yeah.
It's not you two by any chances.
No, it
Okay,
was
good.
not. It was not us.
Now, I'm going back to a previous one we've had already, that both of you have answered already. Two-part question. The first part is, any embarrassing moments by any of your teammates in the past couple of weeks?
I'm going to have to get out my list
Oh,
because it's long.
I'll
But
go while Claire looks it up, but we've had a few people slip as they jump to get into the water. And like it's an intense game. We've had a lot of close games. So our coach is locked in, everybody's focused, good energy, and he'll just be like, "You're up," and the girl will go to run and get in and just slip on the edge of the pool, hit the lane line. And it's almost like a nice because they're totally fine, there's no injury. It's just a nice little moment to laugh about and relieve some pressure. But you hate to be that person.
yeah, especially if it's caught on camera like it was for one person. I won't name names, but we'll at the video. I've got one. I've just read through my list. This one's been pretty good. So on the weekend just passed. Obviously when people come in and out of the pool for subs because they've just jumped out, they're obviously sopping wet. Meg, one of our players, sat in the coach's chair and so like got that wet, dripping wet. And then she got subbed back in. Duty then went obviously to go sit down at some stage, just sat in a massive puddle. So that wasn't particularly enjoyable for him. But then to start the next game the next day, Duty holds a chair above his head, yells at Meg from across the pool, "Meg, this is my chair. Don't sit in it," as a joke, which was really funny. But of course, Meg instantly forgot and sat in that chair again. So that was pretty funny.
That's good.
Yeah. Big mistake.
Oh, that is so good.
It was pretty funny.
I'm not even going to ask the second part of the question because I think that's a great way to finish. But both of you, thank you so much for giving up some of your time to join us. It's awesome having both of you on the show again. And best of luck against Drummoyne this weekend. And let's hope it all goes well. And we'll be right behind the Cronulla Sharks from here in Melbourne. And can't wait to, as we get a bit closer to March, hopefully we'll be up there very, very soon.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much for having us again. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.
No worries. And that's Claire and Maddie joins us there from the Cronulla Sharks, of course, women's team. Of course, as I mentioned, of course, they do go up to Drummoyne on Saturday. Of course, make sure to get up there, because they are at 6:15 up there at Drummoyne. Of course, the men's are at 7:45. There's more on the Smashboard show right after this. Don't go away. Here on the 10th year celebration.
Hi, I'm Claire Durston. I play for the Cronulla Sharks, and you're listening to Smash FM.
Hi, I'm Madison Bergeron. I play for the Cronulla Sharks, and you're listening to Smash FM.